Right. Hey, Laura, how are you?
I am super well. How are you?
I am doing very, very well. Thank you so much for taking the time. It really means a lot to me.
Yes, thank you for your art. Thank you for everything that you bring into the world. Everyone
Oh,
appreciates that, especially nowadays. We need great art to carry us through. So thank you.
I agree
So,
with you. Thank you.
so congratulations on this show, this terrifying yet compulsively compelling and visceral show. So now that it's been out for a few weeks on Peacock, I'm curious what sort of feedback have you received?
Look. I have received nothing but extraordinary feedback on the show, and it oftentimes just because we have to, you see the created by credit up on the screen, and you just sort of have to be reductive and say that this person is responsible for what the final product was. But the reason the show is as good as it is it began with our writers room, who just helped me every single day to craft a story that was extraordinarily compelling. It went obviously to our cast, who put their faces and up on the screen every single day and really challenged us to be able to do better by the story, and brought their own bit to crafting the story. And then obviously our crew, who showed up every single day, and in difficult circumstances under COVID, to help bring this to life. So I am very proud, not for myself. I am so proud of our writers, crew, and cast for everything that they did, because they deserve the accolades that the show is getting.
So, what are some of the moments from the show, either from your work as writer and executive producer, your work as a showrunner, that you feel most proud of yourself?
I have to tell you that I'm going to give you the creative side, and then I'm going to go to something else really quickly. But on the creative side, I sort of just alluded to it. I am very proud that this kernel of something that I was able to be part of. Because again, let me be clear, part of what made this show successful was the beautiful podcast that Laura Beale put together with Wondery. If it weren't for that, we wouldn't have had a story to tell. So we owe a great deal of debt of gratitude to them, and a lot of credit to them. But then to be able to be partnered with all of these people who took a one script that I wrote and really helped expand the world and ultimately bring it to life. I'm extraordinarily proud of that, and proud of them, without sounding patronizing. Right, I'm genuinely proud of all of them. But then I'm going to go back to the COVID world. Right, I mean, we executed this as a family together under the most extraordinary and extreme of circumstances. And the fact that everybody showed up to work every single day, and they did their jobs with grace and aplomb, and from time to time humor, under these circumstances. How could I not be proud of each of them? Every challenge that was thrown at our feet, they stepped over, and they figured out how to make this all work. So I very publicly am giving my thanks to all of them for what they did for, ultimately, for me, and that's something that I could never repay.
So I'm curious, have you heard anything from the medical community or any of the real life people involved?
Absolutely. Well, we had Doctors Henderson, Kirby, and Ms. Schugert as assets to our show from the very beginning through the entire development process. So they were vital to helping us craft this story and ultimately execute the story. We also had a great deal. We had a couple of surgical and medical advisors who were with us every single day, and ensuring that we were getting everything in the operating rooms right, because it was vitally important to us that people couldn't say, well, that wouldn't happen and that wouldn't happen. The more real it was, I felt like the more visceral of a response that audiences at home would wind up having, right? And from what I can gather from some of the press that's coming through, is that the medical community feels like we actually did get it right.
Wonderful. So as you were saying, this project is very visceral. All of your projects I find very cinematic in the same way. I find your leads give very fully immersive performances thanks to your work as a writer, from Olivia Cheng and Marco Polo to Chris Meloni and Happy. And now you have Joshua Jackson giving a performance that's unlike anything we've seen him do on screen before, in the most brilliant, interesting, immersive, as I was saying, ways. So what was it like collaborating with him to create that performance?
I wish that I could take any semblance of credit for collaboration with Josh Jackson, but listen, he is what you, and by the way, first of all, I do also want to just check you on that. That's amazing. Olivia is one of my favorite people
yes,
in the industry.
So sweet.
She's amazing, and she's a local. She's a Canadian.
Is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she was stuck with me doing press on Marco Polo. That poor woman. So if you see Olivia, please send her my best. I would appreciate that. And Meloni is just a rock star. Yeah, I know he's ridiculous, and I still talk to Chris quite a bit. So thank you for bringing that up. But as it relates to Josh, listen. We gave him the same research that we had, right? We had many conversations, of course, but he was the one who had to do the hard work, and he figured out how to bring quite effortlessly the charm and the charisma to the role that enabled these patients, these victims, to begin to believe in him. And then he could warp immediately. You know, it seemed effortlessly. I know that that's not true. I know it's very difficult what he did, into the sociopathic narcissistic side. And so I've said it before, I will say it again. I would like to work with Josh for the rest of my career. And I hope that our time together didn't make him not want to work with me. So because I find him to be just an extraordinary talent, but he's also just a good person, and he's intelligent, and he's caring, and he is, he's passionate about everything that he does. So I'm hoping that this is the first in a long line of us working together.
You work with some great Canadians, I have to say.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, Canada is a great place. You guys keep them coming. We need you guys. We need more. I need more of your actors for sure.
So you've had some great collaborators over the years. You're about to work with Elle Fanning and Liz Hannah as well. Yeah. Some great talent. So who have you worked with as well in the past you'd love to work with again, including Josh, including your crew here?
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, Liz Hannah is on the other side of this wall here. We're in Savannah, Georgia right now, preparing for A Girl from Plainville. And yes, that has been a phenomenal collaboration. I mean, she is a great talent, and I'm very lucky to have been partnered with her on A Girl from Plainville. I'll be honest with you. I've had a sort of a fantasy over the course of my early in my career of finding a group of actors who, we could move from project to project together, almost like a troupe, right? A theater troupe, with them playing different roles. And so while I would be very lucky to be able to work with the cast that I got a chance to work with on Dr. Death. We're just starting Plainville. I can tell you, Elle Fanning is an absolute pro, and again, a very intelligent and kind soul. So I'll have to get back to you on Elle, but I so far so good with Ms. Fanning. She has been an absolute blessing to us.
And finally, what have you been watching lately? Curious.
I'll be honest with you, not a lot. It's between wrapping out Dr. Death and prepping Girl from Plainville. It hasn't allowed me a lot of time to be able to watch any TV. But I will say that I was with my family. My family was with me in Savannah for a little bit, for about a month, and we always have family movie night on Friday nights. Even when I'm away, I zoom in and we watch a movie together. Them being here, we ended up binging Ted Lasso. So that is the latest one, season 1. Obviously, I haven't gotten to season 2 yet. And I think it's an exceptional piece of television. It somehow has figured out a way to toe the line between that good-heartedness and keeping it really real and grounded and having complex characters. And that's a tough thing to do. So I credit those writers and the entire cast and crew of Ted Lasso for being able to pull that off.
Well, thank you so much again for everything that you bring into the world. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your time. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you. That's so kind of you. Thank you very much. Thanks for everything. Hope we talk again soon.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you. Have a great
All
day.
right.
Thanks,
Cheers. Yeah, you
everyone.
too.